It's now time for the Star Trek Discovery review. Now, I was interested in this show last year when they first announced it, or the year before, that they were going to start working on this. So when it came out last year, I had to watch it. But what really bothered me is it was on that CBS All Access streaming service. First, it was that with Star Trek Discovery. Then DC came out with their streaming service, and they started it off with Titans, and that bothers me. A show that you can only watch, well, it's coming to Netflix soon, but when it's only on one streaming service, they know everybody has wants to watch a show, and that's what they use to bait you in. Oh, Star Trek. Everybody's gonna want to know what this new Star Trek show is about, especially if it's good, which we will get to in a minute. So I wasn't sure if I was gonna see it or not right away on time to do a review earlier because I was just gonna binge everything. But some of these streaming services are releasing episodes weekly. Well, I did watch this, and I finished it a while ago, and I had some people who are subscribers ask me, like, are you going to do a review? Finally doing it. I wanted to get this out before season 2 start, which is only in like a week and a half. But let's get into this. I didn't know what to expect. It was Star Trek, big Star Trek fan. Next Generation. When I was born, Next Generation was the thing that was on television. But I always watched reruns of the original, especially with my grandma. And the original's really good. It really is. I enjoyed a lot of, Voyager and stuff like that. I kept up with it, but Next Generation and the original Star Trek is the ones I know the best. I am currently going through all of them again, watching everything again. But I was excited for this. I was excited. The cast, they had a lot of good actors in this. I was waiting to see what it was about. The trailer had me interested. I really liked the premise of what was supposed to be happening. It's set 10 years or about 10 years before the first Star Trek series, the original series, which is good because that gives you enough time to do a lot. It's a good time period. I mean, let's just say this lasts for 10 seasons. It makes sense, 10 years. But even if it doesn't last that long, you still have enough room where you can introduce some stuff that wasn't talked about or wasn't done before. I never really watched Enterprise. I got excited about Enterprise when that was coming on television. Almost 20 years ago or something like that, but I never stayed with it. I watched the first episode and I kept missing it, and I never stayed with it. Whatever, but I enjoyed this one a lot. Discovery starts off very different. One of the things I like about it is the main character isn't the captain. You know what I mean? Because usually the crew is like the main character to me. There's always the captain, so they're the most important. But Next Generation, I love the whole crew. Number one. Everybody's favorite from Star Trek. I mean, there was different captains here, there, and there, but I think most people just really love Spock, and he's very iconic in the Star Trek lore and stuff. But anyway, let me get into this. This is pretty cool. When you have here this person, Michael Burnham, and she's basically a human who was raised by Vulcans, Spock's father. It's like his adopted sister, Spock's adopted sister. And I thought that was interesting. She has all these human emotions, but she was raised just like the Vulcans raised half-human Spock. But you're raised to, they don't really have emotion. They're not emotional creatures like we are. They run off of logic more than anything. But why would you take on a person like this? Well, they picked the right person to do it, Spock's father, because he thought it was logical to study and understand humans more, because you have this united federation of planets. And this show starts with them at war at Klingons. It's almost like the beginning of the war of the Klingons versus the United Federation of Planets. And I like the look of the show. It's a lot darker in visual look. And I remember people complaining about stuff about the show, like how they have this technology, why their suits don't look the same. They kind of explain that. You have to do some digging, but they explain that different ships were built at different times, and it takes a long time to build certain ships. So the Enterprise from the original series, NCC 1707, that one was built a long time before the one you see in Discovery. So, or both ships in Discovery. But it makes sense. There's a lot of lore to Star Trek. It's not that simple. And somebody was talking about inner ship, like how they could transport, they could, inside the ship, you know what I mean? You could actually beam somebody to a different part of the ship. Things like, how that technology wasn't around yet. Well, it wasn't in the ships that was in the original series. But this is a problem you're going to run into when you do a prequel series or something. years later when technology is more advanced and you have more special effects are better and just the style of what we want to see, I did want to see some old styles. I mean, like, you got to realize in the original series they had a bunch of buttons they clicked and switched all the time. Next Generation they had like almost touch screen stuff. You know, so it's different. It's going to be different. I don't let that bother me because I understand how that works. And anybody who's getting bothered by that, man, just sit back and relax. This isn't even real, it's fictional. You know what I mean? So chill out, man. Chill out. But I enjoyed this series a lot. I really like Michael. I really do. I like her in the role, and I like the actress playing her. Used to watch The Walking Dead, and I knew she was leaving that for this. So I like Michael a lot. I like the dynamic of how Michael tries to control her emotions, but they're still there. They're right there on the surface. She can't control them too much. The series has a lot of action. I would say a lot more action. And people were complaining about that. They was like, oh, it's about discovering stuff. It's called Star Trek Discovery, and it's just based on an action series out in space. Kind of, sort of it is. They discovered a few things. They really did. But I don't know. It was good. It was good. I was very worried about this series, and it turned out being better than I thought. Every episode got better. And I like how everything that happens in each episode has an effect on the episodes later. It really does. One of the fun things about this, they had a lot of throwback episodes to episodes that happened in the original series. For instance, a parallel universe. They go there and everybody's a part of this kind of empire. And I love that. I love all the episodes. They didn't just do it for one episode either. It lasted for quite a while, like 2 or 3 episodes, I believe. Oh, they also had an episode with like a time paradox, like this 30-minute loop where they kept reliving moments over. I'm a sucker for time travel and stuff like that, where people get stuck in a loop and you have to figure out how to get it out or stop the bad guy or something. And they got the guy who played Dwight from The Office as the main character that was in a time loop. You know, kind of like a villain. I would say kind of like a villain. Yeah, you could say he was the antagonist in that episode. And I really liked him in that. Saru, or whatever his name is. I like that character a lot. Who plays him? I don't know. Is it Doug Jones? The guy who played in all those suits? It is Doug Jones. Yeah, he was in Hellboy, and he played in a lot of other movies. What is the one about the little fish man in the water and stuff like that? I forgot the name of the movie, but you know what I'm talking about. That came out last year, where they were saying it was this woman have sex with a fish in the movie, whatever. Del Toro's movie. But that, I like his character a lot. I like everybody. I really do. Tilly was one of my favorites. I really do. Besides her just being cute and adorable, whatever. I like how she's new to everything. This is her first year, and she had to figure things out. And she was captain of the ship in the parallel universe. And it was just so cool to just see people have to switch and play these different roles. I really like Tilly. She's one of my favorites, actually. I think she is my favorite, besides Michael. Gabriel Lorca. Fantastic. I knew something was up with him from the beginning. He was talking about how he was sensitive to light and stuff. I'm like, why? What happened to you? They never really explained why. He said it was some kind of injury or whatever. And then you find out later on in the series some secrets about him. I knew something was up about him, but he was so fantastic. I love the character. I was like, please keep him around. He was great in this series. The first series, the first season of a series usually is always remembered. People never forget that. So any characters that don't last into other seasons from this first season, we're not going to really forget them too much. So there's some characters that don't make it into season 2, but I'm glad. I really enjoyed season 1. It was fantastic, and this new technology they had on the ship, where they had these spores, and it's basically they're teleporting anywhere these spores have been before in the universe. They're all connected, and it's like it's just this web of just connectivity from these energy spores, and they can jump to certain parts of the universe instantly. And with a technology like that, you're like, okay, where was all this during the original series or Next Generation during that time period? They could have a lot of Federation ships could have used that when they was in trouble and stuff. feeling we're going to find out why certain things don't turn out the way we think, or doesn't make sense now, but it probably makes sense later. Because I have to say, this series was beautifully written. The Klingons. People were like, why do the Klingons look different? Look, they changed the Klingons once before in, what was the original series? I think like in season 3, they looked a little bit different. They usually just look like, darker skinned, tanned Vulcans. And then they changed them up in Next Generation. They looked a little different, and I'm now they're changed again. I don't know why. I think if any issue I have with the connecting of these shows is probably that the Klingons look so different. I don't know. I'm just rolling with it, to be honest with you. If they want to make them look different, make them look different. It is a big change, though. They look so different. Don't know why they wanted to do that. I didn't look it up or anything. It doesn't matter what their cause is. It's already done and it's out there. So, whatever. But they do look a lot different. And then, it's weird, but oh well, just rolling with it. But I did like the storyline of how they try to put this Klingon inside of a human person. So this person has their self and this Klingon also living inside of him. That was very interesting. It was very interesting. And I wonder where that's going to go, how that's going to turn out, because he had a love interest as a Klingon. And then Tyler was in love with Michael. And Michael just fell in love with Tyler. And they had this relationship going on. And things just turned out pretty terrible. You know what I mean? They did something sneaky. When they were transporting him as a prisoner, they wanted to kill him. What they did in that scene, I'm not trying to say too many spoilers in case somebody didn't see it, but everybody should have saw it by now. This review's super late. But I like what they did, because I was thinking the character was going to die off, and I was like, oh man, that sucks. Although I didn't like the character, involvement with a certain other character. I think y'all know by now, it's Tyler. I didn't like him being with Michael. I wanted Michael to have a new love interest. I don't know why. I get like that sometimes. When you're in fandom, sometimes you just don't ship two people together. And I really don't like them two together. But overall, with everything that the series gave us, I enjoyed everything. The dialogue was good. I really liked the connecting between characters. That was awesome. Parallel universes, time loops, getting lost in space, secrets being revealed, and I liked everything. I mean, you have betrayal, love. I'm a sucker for love stories, so I love that. Can't wait to see who Tilly's love interest is going to be. That's my girl. I like her. I could see us two together if I was aboard the Discovery. But one of the things I really am glad about, Michelle Yeoh as Captain Philippa. I was so pissed when she died at the beginning of this season, and I was like, goodness gracious, you got this amazing talent, and she's a good actor. She's a good martial artist too. Woo, great martial artist. But she's a good actress, and I just liked her in the role. There's a lot of strong female characters in this, and some people want to scream, SJW bullcrap. Man, shut up. They're just trying to, get more female characters out there. It's not a SJW propaganda or agenda, and man, whatever. And even if it was, so what? You either like it, the story, or you don't. Anyway, I really liked her role in this series, and I was so upset when she was gone. But this is a spoiler. When they went to that parallel universe, Michael kept telling her how they had this relationship, but she realized Michael was different, and this isn't the Michael that she knows in that parallel universe. And she was leader of the Empire. And one of the things that was cool about that is she is now in the Michael's original universe, and she's staying there. And I was like, oh snap! So her character is gonna be different, but she's still on the show, and that's what I really enjoy, and that's what I really like. That's pretty cool, because I was so pissed at first, and now she's on there. I'm like, yes, okay. But overall, I really enjoyed this season. Hoping season 2 brings a lot more. I'm so excited to watch it. Star Trek is one of my favorite things to get into. One of my favorite fandoms, I guess I can say. I really like it. I've always liked it as a kid, but the more I watched it, the more I got into it. The movies, a lot of them were so-so. I love a lot of them. I mean, come on. Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, Undiscovered Country, First Contact. And I really like the reboot series J.J. Abrams started with Star Trek. And it's a shame we might not get another one. Big fan. I thought what Abrams did was great. I was wondering how that was going to go. I was like, oh God, I hope they don't mess it up. I like what I was getting. Those movies were just fun. I don't think they're ever going to stop making Star Trek shows. I really don't think they're ever going to stop. And I'm currently going through the whole original series over again. And I'm going through Next Generation. I'm going through them all. I'm going to even watch Enterprise. It's going to take a while, but I'm watching them all. I've been binging and I'm watching them all. I just really, and Discovery, I have to thank Discovery for this. It really sparked my interest to watch all these old episodes I used to watch as a kid over again and watch everything, because there's a lot that I didn't watch. I'm just excited. Can't wait to this start, and I'm binging the old ones. It's fantastic. And I love running to these old episodes I used to watch as a kid and just being like, I remember this. And I'm looking at stuff different, like, whoa, this is pretty good. And Kirk was a goddamn good captain. A lot of people like to give him, I mean, yes, he was a horny toad, flirted with anything that was female. If there was a tree that they said, oh, this is a female race, yes, he would have sat under that tree and he probably would have hugged it. That was Kirk. But he was a damn good captain, man. He was for his crew. He was great as a captain. I love watching the original series, and I can't wait to watch it one day with like my children and stuff like that. Star Wars, Star Trek, those two things, they're kind of at the top of the list. That's my review. A little longer than I thought it was going to be, but you heard it. Like the video if you like the video. Helps out the channel. I'm going to probably do a review, because it's on a streaming service. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do a review of every episode. I was thinking about maybe I should. Maybe I should. Yes, I'm going to do a review of each episode of Season 2 of Discovery. That should be fine. It really should. See you next time.